That says we're live. Right. So, yeah, Conan 2D20, and we're going to try and bring you two guys up to speed so that when we play the campaign, you guys have at least had a go at the system, and we'll try and bring you into the plot somehow as well. So, quick, tiny bit of background. So, you are in the city of Nippur in southern Shem, pretty much kind of southeastern Shem. Shamir lines the gap between the meadowlands of Shem to the west, which take you out to the sea, and the desert. And as you move further into the further to the east of Shamir, the more you just move out into basically solid desert. But Nippur is down near the River Styx, which borders the benighted Stygia to the south. So that's where we are going to start. Is you guys have been, for whatever reason, in Nippur. Now, it makes no difference at all to the game, but do you two know one another already? You do not need to. This will work perfectly well either way.
I would say vaguely.
Yes, I would say you possibly. Yes,
we have similar, like,
you
borderline
appear in
similar
my
fields of work.
contact list.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you've been in certain taverns, seen one another at certain points.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Right. In which case, you try and shift the movement just to try and move to get rid of that slight discomfort in your back, and then gradually the discomfort stops being discomfort and starts becoming pain, and awareness starts to dawn on you that you're not lying down in a bed, you're actually standing up. About that time, you realize that you can't move, and it occurs to you to open your eyes, which you quite quickly close again as the harsh light just burns into them. You kind of groan out through dry lips, and you hear an unfriendly laugh, and a deep voice with a noticeable accent says, "So, awake at last. Thought for a while I'd given you too large a dose." And as you squint against the glare, you see a large, dark-skinned man grinning at you through a face full of warts and boils. You appear to be tied firmly to a large standing stone, and judging from the look of the place, you're out on the outskirts of the desert. How you got here? Last you remember, you were inside a tavern in Nippur. You're not quite sure. And as you glance to one side, well, we'll start with Malik. As you glance off to one side, you see an Aquilonian who you know from somewhere in Nippur. You know you've bumped into him. Aren't that many Aquilonians down here? So, James, do you want to introduce Serverus quickly as he's tied to this standing stone?
Yes. There's his only two particular distinctive features are quite how round he is, and his incredibly shiny head through lack of hair, probably glistening in the sweat at the moment.
Okay. So yeah, as Serverus looks off to his side, next to him is
Malik, who has probably got slightly more. This might sound a bit odd, but skin showing than he normally would. And across all his arms and top of his chest are certain ritual tattoos, which you may have vague recollections of, but not entirely sure where. He has more hair than Serverus.
Okay. Sorry, bear with me for half a sec. James, can you just mute your microphone a sec?
It's feeding back on my end. Guessing it's not.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's always a bit
So
unnerving. All the three people in the group can hear each other and you can't.
yeah, sorry about that. It's that was non-game related. Okay, so yeah, this guy is standing in the desert before you.
Do I know who he is?
I need a character sheet. I can't remember what the skills are. I'm just trying to work out if there's anything obvious that you could use to make a roll.
Society? Law?
You know what? I'm going to say he looks. I'll just narrate it. He looks vaguely familiar, but only kind of vaguely familiar. Yeah, you've seen him somewhere in and around town. I mean, a face like his, you're not going to forget in a hurry. He's got kind of slightly lank, dark hair, and he wears it quite long. And like I say, that his face is just warts and boils, and he's pretty damn ugly. What he'd be like underneath that, you're not quite sure because there's just too many of them there.
Hey, I know you. Or something. I know you slightly more. There's an S. Serverus.
Serverus.
That's it. You, I don't. Your name. Oh, I'm sorry, but I thought with the face I might get it, but no, you're gonna have to give me more of a clue. Sorry.
Well, there, Asia. I'm the man who worked out who you are and who will pay me reasonable money for taking you back across the river. Where you, on the other hand, Serverus, there's some people near the coast who would also pay money for you. Who's been a naughty boy?
Well, it's all perspective, isn't it? Just remember that a small man can cast a very large shadow.
Oh, I like that. I might have to use that in future.
A small man can. Someone of your stature would cast an extremely large shadow. At the moment, only on rock.
At this Cerberus cackles. It's not a particularly pleasant sound.
Cool. Yeah, Pelagon's looking moderately amused. Yeah, no, you wouldn't. He says, "Well, I have a slight problem. I have two slight problems, and some of them are rapidly becoming your problems. I can make coin for you, and I can make coin for you. Unfortunately, in different places. And the coin's not quite as much as I'd like, especially the long trip going in different directions would just be tiring. However, there is a rumor that I have heard circulating that there is a a particular item, which I could sell for far more money than I could get for either of your wretched hides. And as I'm sure you're aware, he says, pointing to Serverus, business is business. However, I'm not really much of a thief. Bounty hunter damn good, apparently. He gazes around at the empty desert around you. But a thief less so.
Well, you're kind of out of luck then, buddy, because I'm no thief and neither's he.
Then I may have to flip a coin to see which of you I leave here like this for the vultures and which I take to people that really would like to see you again.
Right, okay, now for the vulture's sake, let's not do that. And what's this item you were talking about?
Have you heard of a gentleman by the name of Zabian Maltaka?
Would you like me to roll for that?
I don't need you to roll for it because you have contact up to here. You have heard of him.
I need to roll for that.
Let me check the character sheet. I'm gonna.
Oh, I do need dice, actually, that's a thing.
you do. You could make me a law roll to see if you've heard of it. A law or a society roll, your call. I don't think there's a lot of difference in your case, but
I've got slightly higher overall in law. I mean law, yeah. Well, yeah.
Actually, you could do it on. I mean, I'm happy for you to roll. If you want to do it on roll 20, it could be easier to work out what we've got because you're not used to the way the rolls work. But
I can't remember how roll 20 works, so it's fine.
Okay. Okay, so unless you want to pay me Doom now,
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. Unless you want to pay me Doom now or burn a fortune on this roll, which probably isn't worth doing, you just need to roll 2d20.
One standard success.
One standard success is exactly what you need. So if you'd got 2, you would have earned a momentum. Which you could have immediately spent on something like a little roll. You could immediately spend on extra knowledge that I haven't given you. You could ask a question, 1 question per point of momentum.
Cool.
So you have also heard of Zabian, but possibly not quite the same stuff as Serverus has.
How do I know of him?
Right, he is an old. He's a guy in his mid to late 40s. He is of an old, fairly noble family in Nepal. He lives in a fairly impressive, some would say ostentatious tower in the southeast of the city. I think, yeah, you would probably know that he is an alchemist of some repute. So he works with herbalists, but he also is known. In fact, that's probably where Malik would have heard of him. So yeah, you would have heard of him as an alchemist, as somebody that he owns a couple of shops which sell certain ingredients, which they're not necessarily too difficult to get, but they're a tiny bit specialized. Yeah, he's got Cerberus knows he's got somewhat of a reputation for getting his own way. and getting aggressive if he's criticized or if he's crossed, and could be really vindictive to those that cross him. He can long running campaigns in society, just really not a particularly nice guy. Quite tall, quite upright. From I think you might probably have glimpsed him maybe once or twice, but that's pretty much all you know, is that there is this 6-story tower with a huge dome on the top of it, which is his, and he's, like I say, fairly ostentatious.
I recognise this name. Let me think. Yes, Alchemist. That's the one. Very few dealings with him, to be honest. I think one of his lackeys once met up with me. He said he was quite fond of my work, actually. Then less so afterwards, because I killed his cousin. But I don't entirely understand why, because he did pay me to do it. Apart from that, he seemed well, I've not actually met him, so I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop talking now.
Indeed. What do you want with an alchemist?
Well, nothing directly. However, he has a certain formula.
Oh, no, okay.
Not a woman. He has a certain formula somewhere in his tower. He is... I need to find the point, having written this out.
Guard to get with the dragon.
Oh, no, that's why, because I'm reading Pelican and I'm looking for... That would explain it. Yeah. He is the holder of the title, the Lord of Ash and Fire, currently. I don't think this is going to mean anything to either of you. He says, yes, he is the holder of a title, the Lord of Ash and Fire. He is one of the few alchemists who has this particular formula that I would like to get the recipe for. However, he is not about to sell it, certainly not at a price that I would be willing to pay for it. But he is a well-ordered individual, and somewhere within that tower, I am sure, an enterprising pair could find me the formula for the powders of Eben Ghazi.
Does that to me ring any bells?
You could try and make an alchemy roll, but it's going to be it's a dire roll. It really is. It's a difficulty 4.
Well, if I get a 1 and a 1,
if you roll snake eyes, you will. No. Okay.
no, I've not heard of that one.
No. Well, here is the deal. I have certain friends or colleagues in Nepal, and they know that I am returning tonight to the city. And if I do not return to the city, they have messages. And those messages will be sent off, one of them to the south and one of them to the west. So I would suggest that if I do release you, you don't attempt anything unless.
What do these messages say? Are they love notes, or is it to bring more camels? Okay, no. Well, I was just wondering.
One of them bears the name.
Maybe time for another body double.
Well, they will tell the recipients where they can find each of you.
Do you think that's the first time someone's trying to threaten me with people finding me?
The easier option is to simply go and get me what I require.
Indeed it is, and you're in luck, because as this is a matter of alchemy, I'm intrigued. And so, less people will have to die.
You know where the tower is. I
Yep.
believe the formula will be somewhere near the top, somewhere out of the way, somewhere hidden secretly. I will see you at the tavern that you were last remember being at, I imagine, in 2 nights' time. And I would suggest being there with the item. Acceptable?
Of course.
A plan, but plans change. We will aim to see you there in 2 days' time.
Indeed. The plan already needs to change, because at the moment we can't do anything.
He pulls out a dagger. I'm trying to remember what other weapons he's got. Yeah. He pulls out a dagger in his left hand. He uncoils his whip in his right hand. And he walks forward to Serverus. We have a deal.
There is a deal in place.
He reaches out and cuts one of your wrists. Well, the bond's holding one of your wrists. Let's get this right. He then cuts the other one, and cuts the cords that are holding you. And then he walks over to Malik, and he leans in close and whispers, "The name Asia Gilzan. Here is to keeping it quiet and off the radar." Yes?
Of course. For your sake more than mine.
He steps back slightly and at arm's distance cuts one of your sets of bonds, puts the dagger back in his belt, and walks around behind the stones. What Serverus can see is he has a horse behind the stones. And he gets quickly and very easily onto the horse and calls over to Serverus. You can just about make out the city. It's not too far. 2 days' time. You may want to untie your comrade.
I shall give him a steely glare.
The steely glare would have a lot more effect if he didn't just turn his back and ride away. Yeah, steely glare's nice in combat. I think for now, he just coils this up, slaps it on his belt, and just rides off. I've got a feeling. What's the range on a steely glare, by the way?
Feet.
I think it's close range.
Yeah, I have a feeling it is.
Yeah. So yeah, he coils the whip as the horse starts to move off, puts it on his side, and just calls back over his shoulder. 2 nights. You know the place.
Malik would call out, "Yeah, well, while you're gone, you can work on your daggermanship. You're holding it all wrong."
The two of you are now in an empty part of the desert, and Malik is still half tied to this stone.
Okay then. Well,
Do we have our weapons on us?
No.
Not even my hidden dagger.
How hidden is your hidden dagger?
I don't know.
Unless you have, there is a particular.
I don't have that one. I can take it.
If you don't have that one and you didn't take it,
Yeah,
no, you don't have a dagger. He's a professional bounty hunter. He does this for a living. He is not going to leave you with anything but the most concealed of concealed weapons.
Lucky I still have my shoe.
right. Well, I shall try and untie Malik.
It's not that difficult to do once you're free. Malik could probably untie himself. Now he's got one hand free, but yeah, Pelagon did look like he wasn't going to risk suddenly having the one that he probably considers the more dangerous attack him.
There's a lot of talk, but he's not much behind that.
Yes, I feel he may have run in some more bounty hunters at some point in his future.
Perhaps. But right now we need to focus on the matter in hand. Where's our stuff?
I should assume wherever we left it.
Well, then we need to go back to that tavern.
Okay, so you guys, as you look over behind the stones, there's a small rise, and you can actually see just off, not too far in the distance, the tops of a couple of the towers of Nippur. You trudge up this hill, which is only about a quarter of a mile, and down the other side you can actually see you're only 2 or 3 miles outside of town. It's bright out and it's quite warm, but it is only what do you call it? It's yeah, it's only kind of moderately early morning. So while it was not a nice way to wake up, you could definitely do with something to drink. It's not like you've been out there for 5 hours in the baking sun. You can get back into the city. You can find the fairly dodgy tavern that you were both separately at the night before. At this time in the morning, I'm guessing that's where you said you wanted to go.
Yeah, we want to recover our stuff.
Okay, you go to the alleyway where this, I say, dingy little tavern is off, and there's nobody in there at all at this time in the morning. It's empty, and looking around, you can't see anything. Managing to get in, there's kind of someone half asleep at the bar, but you can't see anybody in there. She just kind of nods at you as you walk in.
Stuff's got to be around here somewhere.
Okay, right. I shall be back in just a second.
Yep. Yeah, no worries. Actually, should we take a quick 5-minute and just go and grab a drink?
Yep, cool.
All right, back in half a sec.
Yep.
So, for anybody that is watching this, what are you thinking? Go play some actual RPGs. No, or hello, Doug. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying playing Conan, and this is something I wrote quickly, which I don't normally write my own, but this worked. Seems to be going all right. It should be fun. As soon
He should
as
write his own more, because every time he does, they're really good.
yeah, I know. I'm finding for Conan, I'm finding writing for this quite easy. D&D I've always found really difficult. Conan I'm actually finding quite easy to write for. But given that I'm still learning the system, I don't know quite why. I think there's an adventure generator inside the GM screen booklet, which has got some really nice. It's got some really nice information. You go, okay, right. It gives you some outlines, and then you start trying to put things together. And I think the other thing that I like is the setting has got about the right level of detail for me, so that things start to write themselves and suggest themselves, which is unusual. Although, I mean, with this one, I've drastically ripped off a very well-known, or chunks of a very well-known Conan story. So this is when I'm hoping that neither of you have actually got around to reading any Conan.
Been too busy baking. We'll try to.
Well, no, it's looking pretty cool. Just doing a hot chocolate cheesecake at the moment. So
Sounds great, apart from the cheesecake part. That sounds good, though.
Unless they do lactose-free soft cheese, I think you're rather scuppered there. And lactose-free double cream.
I can appreciate things even if I can't have them. That does sound very nice.
It's going to kill my diet. Right. Okay. So that you go into the tavern, and it's it's a couple of cellars that have been kind of knocked together. There's a bar over on one side. There's
It's a knock through.
woman standing behind the. There's a woman standing behind the bar. But much beyond that, you're not seeing anything that is that's remotely like the type of equipment that you were hoping to see.
I shall ask her if there have been any belongings left here.
She looks at you and laughs as if it's the best thing that anybody said to her today, and she says, "Serverus, in this place, somebody's going to hand something in that they found." That's hysterical. Sorry, were you serious?
I'm not going to steely glare her, but I'm going to give her a look and go. Things need to be found, and quickly.
I don't even know who was in last night. You'd gone by the time that I came, but I got here at some ghastly hour just before dawn.
Well, at least we know when we were nabbed then.
Nabbed?
Well, I wouldn't put it quite like that.
There's no way to not put it, we just have to face it.
Well, evidently my minder was, it probably is no longer around anymore. I might need to do some recruiting in the next few days.
Bounty hunter got us. We've got a job now, but without equipment, we can't really do it. But it was the short one. He was giving me a strange look all evening.
Okay.
Well, there's nothing here.
Yeah, I think we need to go and, I think our best bet may be leaving that on a back burner unless there's somewhere obvious you think our stuff may have disappeared to, and we possibly need to go and scope out the place that we're meant to be robbing.
Yep.
I mean,
might be what we have to
removing
do.
knowledge from.
I'll be one moment. I'm back.
Okay. Okay. So you're now within the walls, not too far from the walls, actually, in a fairly poor and crappy district in the northwest of Nippur, and off in the southeast is the Tower of Zabian. So if you guys wanna just head over there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be back in just a second.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. I can relay it to James. So yeah, you head over. The southeast of Nippur is generally a slightly richer district anyway, but the area where the tower is seriously wealthy. There's lots of kind of big mansions and riadas and things out there, but there's only a couple of towers, and one of the finest, certainly amongst the tallest, is the Tower of Zabian. There is a large wall that runs outside the complex itself. Huge wooden gates on it, 12, maybe 15 feet tall. Actually higher than the walls around. The walls around them are only about 10 feet, and then they just go up, and there are these two vast doors of solid wood bound with huge brass hinges and bands across them. It looks as though it would take an army to knock them down. Beautifully ostentatious, if nothing else. And the wall runs completely around the outside. From from the top of a smaller hill nearby, you can make out a little more of the tower itself. There's quite a lot of foliage, sort of small trees and bushes and things. Kind of there's an area that appears to be cleared, and you can't see what's in there from outside, but there's an area that appears to be cleared. It may be kind of a 90-degree area out the front of the tower, which is round, sort of from, I don't know, about sort of 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, if you know what I mean. And then the rest of it is looks like there's probably some quite tall hedges there. There's trees in there. Not quite sure what is in there. And then the tower stands, it's 6 stories with an onion dome on top of it. It's of kind of rose, what do they call it? Rose petal marble. It almost from this distance looks as though it's built from one piece of marble. And obviously that's impossible, but that's what it looks like. It has been exquisitely built. It looks like once you get above the 3rd floor, there are windows which are stone fretwork with shutters on the inside. So from inside you can see out. Or you can shut the shutters against the night, and it just allows the wind to blow through when it's hot, as it often is here in the desert. Where are we? So yeah, the windows don't appear to start till about the 2nd floor. But the fourth floor, there is a large balcony sticking out with again fretwork all the way around the outside of the balcony. Looks like there is a fairly sizable door out onto the balcony, and then some more windows. You reckon there's another floor above the balcony, so you've got the level the balcony's on, which would be the fourth floor. There's probably a fifth floor before the actual dome starts itself.
Hmm.
It depends on how long you want to spend scoping the place as to what you will see.
I'll probably spend a reasonable amount of time, given that.
It's that or go and sit in your room trying to work out what to do next.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get back to you watch. There are occasionally a merchant will turn up and will go and knock at the gate, and the gate will be opened for them. So once you work this out, you manage to find a location kind of vaguely opposite the front where you can occasionally glance in. And when they open it, there is looks like there's a straight driveway that runs down to these hugely ostentatious doors at the bottom of the tower. And huge doors as well, two massive green double doors at the base of the tower. And then like I say, you don't get to see a lot down there, but there's various guards in there. Quite a lot of them, but they're all carrying swords, and there are multiple. The area's kind of manicured off the path. There's actual lawn in places, which is somewhere like Nippur, that is unbelievably ostentatious. The amount you have to water it to keep grass green when the city is, 3 or 4 miles from the river and in the middle of a desert is quite something. Trees and shrubs you can keep going, but to keep a manicured lawn is ridiculous. And it looks like there's kind of flower beds and things in there, but every time the doors open, they don't open fully, and they're not open for that long. But you kind of get a glance inside.
I think this is going to be a rather challenging location to obtain access to.
Not kidding. Especially not with any of our stuff.
Yes, I feel there may be some people who need conversations and reminders.
How much of your kit did you take to the tavern the night before?
I mean, there's a possibility that I'm not just carrying it all the time.
Yeah, you'd have a room somewhere.
Yeah, I'm joking.
So, some of it would be there. Apart from anything else, I know Serverus has a donkey. That
I took it too.
I mean, it's possible that he takes it out for dates, what the lunch you fire, but
I did not think that. For some reason, it didn't come into my head at all.
Too much time playing D&D. Constantly on the road.
Yes.
Wait a
indeed.
second. I didn't take my stuff to that tavern last night. That's why it wasn't there.
Well, you'd have taken some of it, neither of
I
you
took a
probably-
dagger, but I've like a case full of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I would possibly take would be a dagger and some gold, and yeah, I'm not going to take nondescript travelling clothes there unless I'm wearing them, or a magnifying glass, or indeed my donkey. Or certainly not into the bar with me.
Right. Now that we've had this sudden epiphany. It was the sun. We weren't thinking straight.
Yeah, no, it's you had a long night.
Yeah.
Unconscious and tied to a rock is not the same as asleep and in your bed.
Yeah. We will go back to our rooms, collect what we need, and get back here. I don't know how far your room is, so just at some point.
I would say you're both going to be. Given that the bar was in the northwest side of the city, I would have said that's probably where you're staying near there.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
You're certainly not staying anywhere near the tower. That's they will just about let people like you walk on their streets. There is no way that you're going to manage to stay in that area. But okay, so yeah, you trek back across town thinking about what you've seen. James, do you need me to recap the tower for you, or
Basically, it's heavily guarded. It's rather large.
It's got some balconies.
it's got a balcony on the
boy. Yes, I bet it's got a balcony.
It does have a balcony. Yeah, fourth floor's got a balcony. I have a very rough mock-up of it if you'd really like to see it.
Yes, please.
You'll need to give... Oh,
That
blimey.
wasn't a question.
Yeah, so you guys trek across town. It's going to take me a minute or two to open it. You guys trek across town. You get back to your rooms. Are you both going individually to your own rooms, or are you going to stop by whoever's closest?
Nah, we'll split up.
Me, okay.
Yeah.
So
you wake up on a Sunday or no?
yeah. The next morning, when she can't move and can't breathe,
Not again.
The light burning your eyes. There's a large man with boils all over his face asking you what progress you've made. Yeah, no, you get back to your rooms and you both find a fairly similar sight as you get to your rooms. So you make your way into the building. You go up. You unlock the door. I'm certainly Malik, I'm guessing, would have set up things to make sure that he would know whether or not his room had been messed about with or not. Yeah, all of those seem to still be in place. You unlock the door, you open the door, and any kit that you had with you on the night that you found yourself, the night that you don't fully remember, that you didn't then wake up with the next morning, is sitting on your bed along with a note that simply reads, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. Yeah, that's all you. That's all that's there.
Okay then.
I have to give him some credit then. That's somewhat impressive, I suppose.
If I've got to admit it, I'll admit it. Maybe the guy's not quite so appalling. Well, maybe not quite go that far, but
get the stuff. Go back to.
Yeah, me to the prearranged location. Do I know about anybody who works at the tower?
I would have said probably not. But you
never know.
You could make some sort of roll for that, I suppose.
When you say some sort of role?
See, I don't really want you to be a law roll. It wants to be some sort of criminal roll. You could make me a society roll, I suppose.
Right. Okay. And that's 2d20.
Yes. Unless you'd like to give me doom.
As the system goes.
Well, I've rolled 2d20, and one of them is so I've got a 7 and a 2, and my expertise in society is indeed a 2. So does that mean 3 successes?
That does mean 3 successes. Blimey. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, you on 3 successes. Hell, I've got to give you that. Okay, yeah. On 3 successes, yeah, you managed to think of the name of somebody who used to work there. They don't work there anymore, but they used to.
Okay, I'm thinking I will have this conversation with Malik, and is it worth seeing if we can get some inside information on the place?
So you would Serverus would get back to the location, and you'd be waiting around 30 seconds. And then you'd hear this voice just like kind of in your ear, but not from anywhere in particular. Just Serverus. Come. No, over here. No, Serverus. And so he gets his hand on your shoulder. I'm right here. And Malik's now got all this, like, looks completely different. All the tattoos are covered. You can just about see his eyes. His face is like covered in. Really, you're not sure how you missed him, but like if you were just seeing him walking past, you still wouldn't have necessarily. You can tell by the voice.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how we're going to get in there? I can do sneaking, but thievery's not really my strong point.
Well, I know of one individual who used to work in there, so I feel I need to pay. What's the individual's name?
The guy that you are thinking of is a guy called Elam.
I think we need to pay Elam a visit, and yes, possibly give him a reminder of something. If I can remember what it is, I need to remind him of.
Okay.
I don't think you've got any dirt on this guy particularly, but you know him. He's a contact.
Right.
Okay,
In which case, I owe him a drink or something. Yes.
That was it.
And it's not his current job, so he's possibly more willing than you'd think to it might be possibly more willing to talk than you'd think.
Okay then. Well, I feel. I would say we should pay him a visit, but I don't think he'll notice you. I think I should pay him a visit, and you should, well, do what you do best. And
you pay him a visit. I'll be there.
Indeed, that was my thought. Can I go?
Something like trip on the other side of the street, look over at it, look back, and he's gone.
In this kind of scene, no problem. The moment it's a mechanical advantage, you're going to have to roll for it. But yeah,
of course,
I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah,
a lot of Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, Elam used to work as a guard at the tower. He is currently working. He's currently working for the Night Watch of the city. You know him because he's a good person to occasionally pay if you need to get something in or out. He's not going to turn a blind eye to cold-blooded murder. But if you've got something that really shouldn't cut, it's going to be expensive to bring through the main gates and is quite small and you just need to haul it over the wall, you can pay him. He'll make sure that there's the guard aren't around for kind of half an hour while you haul it up by rope and stow it somewhere.
Sounds like a pretty nice guy.
Yeah. as I say, he's currently in the watch. So again, I'm going to think of what do I need to roll. At times like this, I really, really miss Call of Cthulhu's luck rolls. So you know what? Make me another society roll to find out whereabouts he's going to be. Have you died? Okay. Ollie's still here. Yeah, he's having some problems with the mouse at the moment. Well, with his laptop. So
Something's going to happen sooner or later.
Right. Can you hear me now?
Just about, but it's
Dalek.
Yeah, it's a bit Dalek-y. I've known it more Dalek-y, but it's a bit Dalek-y.
Okay, then let me roll. I get a 1 and a 20.
Okay. Well, the roll of the 1 is 2 successes. You know exactly where he is. The 20 is a complication.
Right then.
Dead.
No, he's not dead. However, he has got one of his commanding officers with him. And he is... you're going to have to be... If any information you want from him, you're going to have to be very, very careful. You reckon you can get hold of him
use code words
just before he goes on shift if you're quick, but A, you're going to have to be quick, and B, he is not going to want you to be seen with him given where he's going. He's on his way to meet his commanding officer.
Okay then. I think what I'm going to do is quickly basically go, I need to meet you tonight in, and tell him where I need to meet him.
And he goes, I can't, I'm on all night.
Well, where can I?
I am with my commanding officer all night. Okay. I can't arrange anything for you now. Okay.
Dear.
Anything you want to get over the wall, you're just gonna have to wait a couple of days, okay? He's getting a bit hot about it.
Okay then. Well. Okay then. And I think I won't push the matter any further and take my cue to leave.
I've got a couple of minutes. What is it you want? Quickly.
I need to get into the whatever the name of the tower is. I've forgotten it already. I need to get into the tower.
The Tower of Zabian Maltaka.
Yes.
The Zabian Maltaka.
Yes.
Just don't, okay? It's the guards are out in the around the gardens all day long. At night time, just be careful in the garden. They've got something out there, and I'm not sure what it is. They always kept. I wasn't in there for long. There's something out in the grounds. The guards will stay inside the grounds for overnight. I know that, but that's all I know. The place is a fortress.
Right. Thank you.
But I wouldn't unless I wouldn't. Okay.
Okay, and I will shake his hand. And do I have the equivalent of a copper piece on me?
He's yeah. No, you can. Yeah.
I'll shake his hand and press one into it and say thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
And
just
take my cue to leave.
Give me a week, okay? Then maybe, but just give me a week.
I don't have a week, but thank you.
Fate be with you. And he
Yes.
kind of turns around the corner and kind of straightens up his uniform a bit and checks his sword in his sheath and hustles along quite quickly.
Right. Yeah.
As Serverus turns to maybe walk back the direction he's going, or to see if he can attempt to locate maybe where Malik is, you hear his voice next to you say, "Well, that was kind of helpful and kind of not helpful."
I'm pleased that we now know about whatever he keeps there overnight.
I'm somewhat intrigued, I must say. An alchemist with a secret pet.
Yes.
I think it'd
let's
be
not run
possible
away.
I could get past it. No offense. Maybe not so much yourself.
Well,
And we don't have a week
know.
either.
yes, I'm not hugely keen on feeding it.
No, me neither. Guards, beastie. Depends on the beastie.
Yes.
If it's just a mouse with anger management, we might be okay, but I'm not counting on that. What do you want to do now?
I don't really know.
With this new information, granted how little it is, let's go back and have another scope at the place. See if we can see any possible lines of entry.
Yes, I think further examination might help. We possibly need to look at all possible angles of approach.
Yes. I'll make my own way there, and I'll meet up with you in a bit. If
Yes,
this is in the same place twice at one day, guards might get suspicious.
indeed. Well, they won't see you.
Indeed. Ducks down a side alley and disappears
Yes.
into the shadows.
Yes. In this world,
Yep.
do they have sewers?
Depends on the city.
Does this tower have access to the sewage network?
No, it doesn't. Nice thought, but no.
Ah,
Does it have air vents?
Nope. Not that you're aware of, anyway. But no, not got.
does anybody have a magic carpet, a flying carpet?
No, this is not Alcadin. Even if I suddenly realised Ollie is playing somebody covered in tattoos again.
Yep. The opposite kind, though.
Yeah. Right. What I am going to do very quickly is.
I haven't thought of that. That's a good point.
Yeah, I suddenly thought, oh my life, he's got tattoos again. Right. So
Did you not realise this?
it just hadn't occurred to me. So the Tower of
Get some
Zabian
pain.
looks a little like. I suddenly realised I haven't put the windows on this yet, but it looks a little like that.
Right. Okay then.
Window.
There are various windows, but they
But they're
start
made
from
of stone.
about the height you can go. But they're. Do you know the types of things I mean? So it's like a window, but it doesn't actually open. It's just
Yeah.
like stone fretwork.
Yeah, I get it.
So the only two ways you're aware of to get in are that door up on the balcony and the main doors at the front. Both of which obviously are going to have their downsides.
How scalable does the tower look?
It's pretty damn smooth.
I thought it would be.
If you'd got a rope and a grappling hook, you could maybe do it.
Alas. I left that in my other room.
You got a couple of gold left, haven't you?
It's a good point.
I'm not going to stop you. You're in a city. You've got some gold. If you want to pick up some minor bits and pieces, that is more than acceptable.
Cool.
Yes, I can't see. I think that at the moment might be your best bet.
Maybe. The wall. What kind
Yes.
of shape is that?
The wall is, I mean, it's a fairly sheer wall, but it's about 10 feet high, something like that, and it just runs around in a large oval. The tower is closer to the front than it is to the back.
Are there any buildings close by that are above the height of the wall?
No. But to be honest, if you've got a rope and grappling hook, anyway, it would not be difficult to get up there. And actually, at that kind of height, if Serverus would deign to give you a bunk up, you could grab the top of the wall. 10 foot's not that difficult to get over.
No. Getting Serverus up after.
Yes.
Right.
He's not very agile, but he's not. It's not like he's got a 5 or a 6 in agility.
No.
You know, it wouldn't be an easy role, but if there's the two of you doing it together, you could stand a reasonable chance. It may not be quiet, of course.
Yes, I'm not seeing another way into this tower at the moment. Those are the 2 points of access.
I hear his voice behind you. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
It depends on
That's
what.
a genuine question. What are you thinking? Quick thought.
I think our best way in is possibly your best way in through the 4th floor. But that's going to be incredibly difficult to get up to.
So
we will need either a way of getting up there or to just find a way through the front door. Unless, of course, there's a third entrance we are unaware of.
yes. Now getting to the front door still means we need to get past the gate. If we do it at night time, which seems like the slightly safer option, depending on the beastie, how are we going to get over the wall?
Well, I think getting up onto the wall is quite manageable. There are 2 of us after all. However, I would like to have neutralised possibly any animal present before we get too close to the tower, and then getting up and getting into the tower is also going to be a problem.
And how do you reckon we could reach the balcony?
Well, cherry picker, but I know that's not in this.
Come on, I got away with mentioning radar earlier. Cherry pickers possibly pushing it a bit far.
Oh, flip.
Anybody know somebody with a really tall ladder or a scaffold they could just hire out?
No, and that complicates things because we have to get that over the wall as well.
Do I happen to know a structural engineer who could cause panic by telling them that this tower is going to fall down? You must stick supporting scaffolding on it now.
Maybe if you spent, I don't know what,
Longer than we have.
if you spent about 3 weeks setting a con like that up, you could probably get the entire tower deserted.
Okay, come on.
Yeah,
It would
Nearly
make
there.
a good game. I mean, we could. That's a total Ocean's 11. But yeah, I mean, look, In terms of a throw from the ground floor, giving you the options if you're, because what I realized is you've got no idea how the game system's working or what I'm thinking. So if you're trying to get up to the balcony, it's going to be an epic level throw from the ground. It really is. You could scale. Yeah, sorry. So it's going to be a D5. So difficulty 5. You're going to need 5 successes to throw a grappling hook from the ground.
That's not going to happen.
You say that. It depends. Throw would be ranged weapons.
Huh. Okay, yeah, it's not great.
What's your throw?
11.
What? Yeah. Okay.
About 50-50.
Okay. You could scale maybe as far as the very bottom of the balcony. Not going to be easy. It's going to be about a difficulty 3 athletics roll to get up there. But that's then going to reduce the throw down to a D3. Right. You could climb up to the balcony. You are looking at an epic level climb, and getting that wrong could be catastrophic.
How far did you say from the wall to the from the perimeter wall to the balcony?
From the perimeter wall,
giant catapult,
to the balcony, it's maybe about 60-70 feet.
No, okay.
It's a
that one.
Big compound.
Any telephone lines?
Oh no, there is. I haven't had time to put it in on the 3D rendering yet, but there is a mobile phone tower on the top of the dome. It's sitting right next to the lightning rod.
So I think we are starting to come to the conclusion that we're not going to get up to the top of this balcony.
We're going to need an army.
Yes, or to be studied, so the door is taken out.
We could get a prisoner
from somewhere.
Yes.
And say that the tower is now a prison, and we have to take them to the block of cells on the 5th floor.
Yes, so do they have a turbo lift?
No.
Stupid conversation anyway.
Really? Okay.
It took you a little while to get that.
I got the stupid. No, I got that straight away.
Yeah, that was.
Got that one.
Right, you had a blast, the pistol.
It's not the. I can't remember what the word is. Never mind. Okay, right. We attack at dusk. We haven't thought of a plan. I don't think we're going to think of one, so we'll have to improvise.
I think we're going to have to get over the perimeter wall, but that shouldn't be too difficult in the grand scheme of things.
No?
We may possibly have to source a ladder first, but it's achievable. I'm guessing the perimeter wall is literally just a wall. It's not got places for guards to walk around the outside of.
No, it is just a wall.
Cool. Okay then. Do we need to try and think of a way of feeding the beast inside?
The beast is a wild card. I mean, it's wild. It's actually potentially tame.
Yes.
But from our point of view, it's a wild card. Not from theirs.
Yes.
Because they're in control of the beast. So
Yes, it's not that wild.
we might be able to appeal to its better nature. No, I don't have a clue what we're going to do about them, but hopefully we won't come across it. That's all I got. I have no idea how we can deal with it.
Yeah, I think we possibly need to be. I do have a crossbow. I'm not amazing with said crossbow, but I do have a crossbow.
That's more range than I've got.
All right, that's promising.
Right, I'm going to go buy a grappling hook and some rope.
Okay. Yeah. No,
Yes.
you can try. Serverus can point you to the person to go and see.
And possibly some knotted rope.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you want to pick up or get or arrange that afternoon?
I mean, we could always just steal a ladder, couldn't we? That shouldn't be too difficult to do, should it? I mean,
One capable of getting up to the 4th floor.
well, no, I'm just thinking about getting over the perimeter wall.
It'd be
I'd
easy.
like
It
to
would
have
be
a
easy with
grappling
that.
hook in case, but it would be a lot easier just to run up to the perimeter wall and scurry up a ladder. And
Leaving, of course, the ladder behind you for the city watch to find.
no, you put it over the correct side.
And feed it to the
Feed it.
beastie.
Yeah, and,
Got it.
you know, I think it's going to be difficult to conceal our presence. So that we could always try and find a way of balancing it on the top of the wall, and I did spot that.
We get a cart. Just casually put down against the wall. I'm going to go and get a grapple hook. You
Okay.
keep thinking.
Yes.
I will return.
Okay.
How do my petty enchantment alchemy things work, Louis?
I'm trying to remember how much they cost per enchantment. I've got a feeling that it's not a lot. And we're starting at the beginning, so if you want to have one or maybe two of each, that is
Cool.
that's fine.
Okay, I'll note that.
Yeah, take two of each. I'm aware that it's a 2-player party, which is, and you don't know how the game's running or quite how hard to take something. So yeah, that's fine. Take that, and we'll. So what did you do? You had blinding powders.
Yeah, and burning oil.
And burning oil. So you've got burning alcohol, which has an incendiary 2 spread of 1, does 3 damage. You've also got regular sand, which does. That's interesting. It says it does 3 damage, which makes no flaming sense to me at all. I'm guessing that doesn't actually do damage. That is just to see how many effects you roll against the non-lethal. Oh, right. It's 3 dice of non-lethal damage and stun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might have to have a quick look at what non-lethal does. But yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, you go and find the relevant person that Serverus points you at in Nepal. It's maybe possibly slightly worrying how close he actually lives to your house, but yeah, he'll dig you out a grappling hook and some knotted rope, and kind of grudgingly says you could do with it back if you're not going to need it. So if you can get it back to him, that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes, I think it's going to be. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to make our way through this front door, but at the same point, I think it's our only option.
Agreed.
The character generation system's not that bad. You can always just re-roll a new one.
Indeed. But you'd have to run another session for us between now and our next.
Yeah. Okay, right. So, is there anything else you guys need?
No.
Probably.
Oh,
Not that
definitely.
I can
but
think of, but
Okay. In which case, what kind of
initiative.
time are you thinking about arriving at the tower?
At dusk, like we said.
Okay. At dusk. Okay, so early evening.
Early
Okay.
evening.
Actually, it's not going to be early evening. You're in Nepal. Yeah, so kind of 9 o'clock at night, something like that.
I'm guessing that the guard. I think we probably want to wait till the guards change over, don't we?
Well, here's my theory. The guards do not like whatever comes out at night.
Mm-hmm.
The guards will be well inside before whatever comes in at night comes out. Unless they've got a completely smooth, perfect changeover that leaves us with a little bit of time between the guards going in and the thing coming out. It won't be enough for us to get all their costs, but it gives us a start before the wild card is out.
Yes, and they're not going to want to come and deal with anybody.
No, so if we do make a bit of noise, they'll just assume that the creature can deal with us, which it might be able
Probably
to.
will be able to.
But that's one thing
Okay.
instead of. Actually, we don't know if that's one thing instead of many, but we'll presume it's one thing. Let's just do that and not think about it anymore.
Yes. Okay. I think I'm going to have my shield and my crossbow, and of course my dagger with me.
Yeah, I have my stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, daggers out.
All right. In which case, I am going to take about maybe a 2-minute quick break. I'm going to refill my drink and actually going to open the front windows because it's getting a bit warm. So I'll be back in a couple of secs, and then we will see what happens when you get inside the grounds.
See you in a minute.
See you in a minute. And I'm back in the room. There, he's back.
Okay then.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, the dusk is just settling when you arrive back at the tower. You can see against the greying sky the bulk of this tower, its onion dome, its balcony. There are a couple of lights burning in an upstairs window. You're guessing, you're not going to be sure when you're out here, but you're guessing it's probably about the third floor on the northwestern side of the tower. There is a light burning in an upper window.
Are the guards still out?
How are you going to know?
Well, if you put the grappling hook up there and shimmy up just to the top and just so you can stick your head over the wall, you probably won't end up being seen.
This is true.
Okay. So you guys are pretty competent. There's some stuff you guys are gonna know. So one of them is you don't want to be doing this where there's going to be a lot of traffic. I mean, it's kind of 9-ish at night. You're in the last rays of sunlight. The tower is reflecting the sunlight beautifully with the redness of the sunset. So there's a couple of places which are probably less travelled than others, but you don't want to be hanging around on the top of the wall this side. So there's one probably around about level with the tower and off to the west, sort of pretty much in line with the west face of the tower. Where you could try and get up over the wall, and it's within the more overgrown section towards the back of the tower. It's not that little manicured section at the front that you saw with the gardens.
Okay then, this sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So, shimmy up.
Okay, that is a pretty easy. I'm not even going to make you. I'm not even going to make. It's a knotted rope against a wall. Yeah, no, you get out that. That's not a problem. So is that Malik? Is it only Malik going up, or both of you going up and over?
Malik was just going to stick his head over
No,
and
just going to stick head over.
Okay, so as you stick your head over at this point,
Stealth check.
not straight away. I'm thinking you get up and you look out, and you can see there's trees. A few of them are taller than the wall. Most of them are kind of slightly dwarfed. There's big fences. It looks like big hedges. It looks like there's kind of walkways that run through the garden, and there's opening in the hedges to where some of the more impressive trees are. From where you are going to struggle to see the guards. You could make me an observation roll.
Mm-hmm.
With a DC of 2.
Observation. Okay, we'll try it. No.
What did you get?
17 and an 18.
17 and an 18. Okay, you get up there. You can't see anything at all from up there. There isn't any sound of guards, but then again, from where you are, you'd be looking through a hedge. By the time you get round further towards the front, you are way, way more likely to be spotted by sort of random passers-by.
From observing, like, just the general area, like the guards, do they stand in one position or do they have patrols or?
You've not really been able to see, and the only time you've seen the guards is when the gates open.
Okay, right. So not sure.
You're not sure.
Okay. Okay, so Malik's going to say there's a hedge. There's a bloody hedge. I can't see the guards through it. So the only option is to go over the hedge. I mean, over the wall.
I think yes. I think it's time for us to let's find out what's on the other side. And yes, let's go.
Okay. Time for Operation Damsel in Tower.
Operation Rapunzel.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's what I was going with. But yeah, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with the
Okay. So you scale the wall, get up onto the top. Are you going to help Serverus get
Yeah,
up?
I'll
You
try
leave
and help
Serverus
Serverus.
there. Yeah. In which case, trust me, by the time you've managed to help Serverus get up a knotted rope 10 feet tall, even Serverus could get up this. He's not as unfit and as corpulent as maybe he's thinking he is. So yeah, you get him up onto the top of the wall. You could drop down. I'm guessing Serverus is going to want to climb down. But yeah, you get back down the other side, and you manage to shake out the. Do you want to get the grappling hook back off the top of the wall or not?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys are stood in. It's not completely dark, but it's pretty dark in the garden. So I would like you to make me probably a stealth roll to cross. Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. Where are you trying to go and what are you trying to do?
At the moment, quietly move to a position where seeing the location of the guards would be easier.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to move back round sort of towards, so follow the wall round until you can get to that hedge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, make me a stealth roll.
Okay, then. That is 2 successes somehow.
Same.
Ooh. Okay, in which case you both earn a momentum.
Excellent.
It will tick down at the end of this scene. It will tick down when combat starts, but for the moment,
I have just want to check this. I have Living Shadow, which is to get +1 momentum from stealth checks to be unseen. Does that mean for an actual person?
That means you get an extra momentum. You now have 2 momentum. Okay, so yeah, you are you steal round, and this hedge is fairly thick, but about kind of 8 foot up the hedge there is a bit of an archway running through. So you get there, and I'm guessing kind of peer through and see if you can spot the guards.
Observation?
No, it's fine. There's a couple of guards. As far as you can see, the only guards are lolling around by the gate. Sorry, by the doorway to the tower. There's 3 of them out there, and pretty much as you get there and you stick your head out, one of them stands up, gestures to the other 2, and they move back inside the gate, inside the doorway. And the doorway closes quite quietly, actually. You were expecting like a big chung, and it just kind of quietly closes behind them.
Good timing.
Yes, I think now might be the time to make a move, don't you?
Yeah. There's a tower and it's got 2 entrances. And where is the creature anyway?
Okay. Right. Who's got the best observation skill from the two of you?
Mine's not amazing.
I've got a 12.
I've got an 11, so...
Right. So, Ollie, roll me 1d20.
Okay.
How many successes do you get?
1.
Okay. Right. So you've got a success. So, James, you can roll observation.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to roll to tell you what the observation you're trying to what the number is. What am I doing? Come on, I want to be there.
Just double check.
So, somewhat annoyingly, I still need to check this. So, okay, yeah. So you need to get one success, which actually you will get just from Ollie's character. So you need to roll me an observation check and hope you don't roll a 20.
Oh dear. That's a 5 and a 20, so that's 1 success and 1 complication, I believe.
It is, right. So on the bright side, you pick up a momentum.
Excellent.
On the dim side, you hear the sound of it sounds like a metal gate opening, but it doesn't sound like it's hinged. It sounds almost like it's being dragged open. And you shift around to try and make to try and just, oh, what's that? What is that? And you put your foot down, and there is a loud crack as you step on a dry branch. And you hear from the direction of the tower a low, fairly menacing growl.
No, we want to sneak in. Watch your feet. We need to go now.
Okay, I'm going to reach for my crossbow.
Okay.
I'm going to get the
Make
grappling
sure
hook.
it's pulled back and loaded because I've got a feeling I might need it.
Okay, so you make sure your crossbow is loaded. Do you know how volley works, by the way?
No.
Okay. Do you have any extra loads of bolts? Did you buy loads of bolts?
No.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. You've got as many bolts as you can use in a combat. That's fine. If you had extra loads of crossbow bolts, then you can spend one of them to do a volley, which adds a d20 to your hit, and it also adds a combat dice to your damage. But it burns up one of those, and then you get the option of trying to recover that load. So the idea is that you're just firing madly with it rather than just letting off as many shots as you normally would do during a round. That's not an issue at the moment, apparently. So, yes, you guys hear a low growl coming from the direction of the tower.
Are we below or in a position where we can try and get up to the balcony?
You're about halfway between the wall and the tower. So you've got probably another 50 foot or so to go before you get to the bottom of the tower.
Can we discern where the growl is coming from?
It's coming pretty much from towards the back of the tower. It started growl. It wasn't long, but it was like crack. And then it stopped again. But you definitely got the feeling that the sound that it was the sound of that crack that caused it to growl, whatever the hell it is. It sounded big and it sounded low. if that helps. That makes you feel more secure.
Yeah, much.
There you go. I like to help. Okay. So, what do you want to do?
I don't really want to be here. I think that's not very helpful.
At the very least, we need to reposition from this location.
Yes. Yes. Do we? I think we should. We try and get through the door.
This creature works like any I've seen. It'll come and investigate the location of the sound first, and then look at the surrounding area to see where the prey's moved to. Where the prey. If we move away from this location, it buys us more time. However, if we move too fast and we go around the way that it's going round, then that gives us less time.
Yes. Should we try and find a tree?
I think whatever you're going to do, you now need to tell me what you're going to do, or else I'm going to kick it on around.
Yeah. We are going to look for some location a bit away from this, which is hideable.
Yeah, which is hideable. So head maybe towards the tower or away from the tower?
Towards the tower.
Okay. Yep. Right. The two of you together can... No, you can't. No, you probably can't. I think I need you to both be making me stealth rolls. I will point out to you, you both have momentum.
Okay,
spend a point of momentum to add a dice to your pool.
Right. In which
I got 3.
Okay, do you want to... right, with Conan, what you can do is ask me what the number is. So this is... Stealth is agility, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, you only need a D1.
I got 3.
You got 3. Okay,
that is momentum.
That gives you 2 momentum because you needed one of them.
But I have living shadow.
Oh, bloody hell! Right, okay.
Okay.
I know I'm going to need it also.
I got 1.
Okay.
I got 1 success, so that's all
it's
okay.
all good.
Okay. So you guys make it on. You do not hear anything else. You want to try and find somewhere just to hide.
Yeah, at the moment.
Okay. So you managed to find somewhere to hide. I am going to pay 2 of those because of what I rolled. Okay, so how long do you want to spend hiding?
I think we want...
Not particularly.
Okay, so you want to give it kind of a couple of minutes just to see whether or not anything investigates.
And to see if we see anything.
Yeah,
I'm going to be ready to, if it starts coming to, if we see it and it starts coming towards us, I think I will shoot it.
Okay. You don't see it. You don't hear anything. You don't see anything. And after a couple of minutes, well, it could just be sitting there waiting for you, but you're getting no sense that it is.
We're either okay or this thing's bloody smart. I'm hoping it's the first one.
I think it's time to make our way towards the front door, so we can either take the balcony or the front door.
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to break cover and end up out on the big kind of manicured lawns.
Yep.
I'm going to have to.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So you make your way around, you creep out the front. There is a slither of moonlight which is starting to illuminate the scene. You guys get out onto the grass out the front, and you are feeling quite exposed out there. But yeah, you can get round. If you get close to the tower before you go around, there's a couple of paths that go through that hedge. If you get close to the tower before you do it, obviously you're closer to the, because it's like wheels of a spoke, you're closer. The closer you are to the hub, at the point where you move out onto that grass area, the less far you've got to go while you're exposed.
Sounds sensible.
So if I'm tracking you right, you guys are kind of creeping down right close to the tower and then just kind of nipping around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, make me stealth rolls. Actually, let me do a... I'll tell you how many you're going to need to stay hidden. Okay, you are only going to need one in order to...
That's 4.
I need to read 4.
I got a 3 and a 5. I need 5.
Oh, my life.
Right, I think I'm going to... Yes, I'll burn a momentum.
Okay, roll me.
So that'll be 3d20 as I understand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that is 1 success.
Which is enough.
Okay. Right, you guys barely make it round. I actually messed something up, so you'll get away with that this time because I'd already announced the... I'd already announced that.
I get 4 more momentum.
Ollie, there's got to be a limit to the amount of momentum that you can score from this, but you rolled 4 successes.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 2 momentum for that, for reasons that are too long and complicated to go into.
That's fine.
Give too much away.
I've got
You got 7. That'll do you. Okay, so you guys are now stood quite close. You're stood kind of by the edge of this set of recessed doors. They're a beautiful blue painted, metal coated doors, which are closed.
I'm going to very quietly try and open one.
Okay, so just go up, put your hand against it, and just push it.
Yeah.
It doesn't give.
No, worth a shot. Okay, what do we do now? We're going to be quick, so let's decide quickly.
If we can't get in through here, there's only one way to get into the building. That's up there.
Up we go then.
Okay. So like I say,
What are the falling rules in this damage?
the falling rules are initially for each zone you fall, it's a couple of combat dice with the stun quality. I am going to say that if you don't end up making it, you stop part way up and you can't get any further up unless you roll a complication, in which case you fall.
Okay then. Right. Okay.
So, I mean, just to climb all the way up and over the balcony, especially where the overhang is on the balcony, that's an epic climb. That is going to be a 5 difficulty. And likewise, to stand where you are now and just lob a grappling hook up and over the balcony from like 4 floors below, that is likewise epic. That is a feat of which your grandchildren will tell their grandchildren. The middle ground would be to climb part way up, which is still pretty tricky. It's going to be probably a D3 roll. And then you could throw a grappling hook up, and that's probably then going to only be a D3 to get it up there. And I I will point out that Malik is currently sitting on 7 momentum.
I know.
Yes, I think we should possibly send Malik up, and I will just try and climb the rope from the bottom. I think he's going to be the easiest thing, as I understand it, because there's no point in me going part way up as well.
Yeah.
And if it's close to the wall, it might be nice to have the wall there to help me.
So what my rolling to climb is athletics.
So rolling to climb is athletics. You need 3 successes, and preferably you do not want
a complication.
Any complications.
I'm gonna burn 2.
Okay, that gives you 4 dice.
Mm-hmm. 13, yeah. Okay, I didn't need that many. I got 4. I got
okay,
1
you got
and
4.
Then 2 below.
So if you lose 1 momentum, from your pool, so you just click on where it says 7, drag it out, and let go, and it'll take it off your pile. In fact, I'm going to ask you to lose 2 because I'm going to say we're starting a new scene if you're starting to climb.
Yep. Okay.
I'm guessing that means I also need to lose.
No, it's from a group pool. If you don't use it straight away, it goes into the group pool.
It's not moving.
Is it not?
I can't. I might be doing something wrong, but I can't get it to move.
Ooh.
Oh, wait. I figured it out. Yeah, I figured it out, don't worry.
Okay. So that gets you... so you managed to... Now, what I'd also like you to do is make me a stealth roll. I'm not... And this is just to find out how quiet you are. So I would say this is going to be a standard difficulty, given where you're climbing up the outside of it.
Yep, that's fine.
So you just need 1 success.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, there's 1. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. So you managed to get fairly quietly up to the top. I am going to roll. Okay. Okay. Serverus is down at the bottom. I would like you to roll me a stealth check.
Okay.
You can spend momentum on that if you would like to.
That's okay. That's 1 success. What do I need to hit?
You need to hit 2.
In which case I'll spend that momentum.
All right, I'll let you do it this time. Normally, momentum spend for new dice you have to announce before you spend.
Right. Okay, then.
That's cool. Okay.
And that is that'll be 2 successes.
Okay. So you stay very, very quiet at the bottom of the wall. As you're looking around, the wind is blowing the right way. Whatever it is, you are unnoticed. Malik, if you want to try and throw your grappling hook up towards the balcony, you need a D3. You need 3 successes on ranged weapons.
Ranged weapons is...
So you have momentum, and you also, I will point out, have fortune.
Yes. Okay, where's my ranged weapons?
It's about halfway down. It's under coordination. Middle one, coordination.
Yes. Oh, okay, 11. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to use 1 fortune and also 2 momentum.
Okay, go for it.
I don't want to mess this up. Oh, bloody typical. Okay, so that's 1-1, which is a double, and so okay, so I got 4.
You got 4. That's fine. You only needed 3.
Fortune, so that's 5.
Hang on, you got 4 successes.
I got 4 successes on the rolls,
and you've got a fortune that you
and I got fortune.
Holy crap! Right, okay. So the fortune gets you 2 because that's a 1 that's upright.
Oh, flip,
so it's as if you put a dice down. So you've rolled 4 dice. Effectively, you rolled 5 dice. One of them's come up 1.
Yeah.
So you got 4 successes off the others.
Yeah. I got 2 10s and a 1.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you got 6 successes for that, and you only needed 3. So you were going to spend 1 momentum or 2 momentum on that?
I spent 2 on that.
Okay. So in which case, if I give you 2 back, that's the same as giving you 4 momentum, and you need to pull
I've crossed it off.
You need to drag the fortune out so that I can see how many you've got.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, you managed to. It's a miraculous once in a lifetime shot, and you just like hook that thing up there, and you're just hanging on the side with a rope heading out. So if you want to make me a D1, actually from where you are, it's going to be a D2. It will be a D1 to get Serverus up to the top. You need a D2 climb roll to get up there.
Okay, is that athletics?
Yeah, athletics roll.
Cool.
Just because you've got to swing out on the rope before you can climb
sense.
it.
D2 athletics. That's okay.
So you could spend some of that momentum.
I'm going up 2.
Okay. You need to drop it out of the pool for me.
Yeah, I will do. Okay, that's 3. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. In which case, I'm sure I'm not doing something right with momentum. I really need to get this because that gives you a momentum back. Okay. Serverus is down at the bottom. The rope is now pretty much down at coiling around the bottom of the tower. So you need a D1 athletics roll to climb up the rope.
Okay, then. So I've got no momentum. Was it a group? You said it was a group.
It's a group momentum at this point. Yeah, it's a group ball.
In which case, I'll say very nicely to Oliver, please bung in 1 momentum, and I will roll.
Sure, you just want to do the 1?
Well,
I'm happy to do
the target number is 7.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
How many do you want?
I think I'm going to spend. I'll spend 1 momentum to roll 3 dice. Which sounds sensible to me.
Right.
And that is that will be 3 successes.
Hell's teeth. Okay. So yeah, you scale up the you amaze yourself. This rope is big, chunky knots. Yes. They knew it was you, and you're kind of a bit puffed out as you manage to get up to the balcony. But yeah, Malik hauls you up over the edge, and you are now stood on a stone balcony around the tower. The marble is cool to the touch. You can feel it slightly radiating some of the heat from the day, but basically when you touch it, it's still just got that marble feel to it. You're quite close to the front of the tower anyway, so looking off, you can see the door is pretty much directly above the main front door. So you're up on the 4th floor. On this marble balcony with a fretted balustrade around it.
I'm going to pull the rope up. Not going to move the grappling hook, but I'm going to pull the rope up.
Okay. Make me an observation check.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? You can do this one if you want to. You can do it as a
group.
As a group one.
Which means
so one of you rolls 1 dice and adds however many successes you get to the other one's roll.
I'll roll 1.
And you're looking for 2 successes. Oh, actually, are you? No, you're looking for 3 successes.
Well, that's okay because that is a 1 on my dice, so that 1 of my dice, so that's 2 successes I've got.
I got 1, and that's 2.
Right. So as you're pulling up the rope and kind of looking into the grounds, you see a shape. It doesn't come out into the open. You can't make out quite what it is, but it's a big shape, and it's hovering around by the fences, by the hedges, down at the bottom where you were a minute ago, and it's just walking backwards and forwards where Serverus was, with some kind of feline look to it. You can see it, the way that it turns and the flick of its tail. It's like some huge cat, easily longer than a man is tall, just kind of prowling up and down, sniffing the ground.
Okay, then. My thinking is that seems like the perfect opportunity for distraction. If I shoot it once and then we go into the tower, nobody's going to notice that we're up here. So long as we we'll probably need to remove the grappling hook and rope, but if I lean over and shoot it once, maybe twice, no guard is going to assume that we've got up to the top of the tower, and I don't believe there's anybody above us. So if I loose one bolt into it and then we go inside, that'll...
What's the range on your crossbow?
M.
Okay, medium, so that's 2 zones away. You're going to need 3 successes to hit this thing. Just because of the distance, you're going to be leaning out over a balcony, leaning down, and it's quite a way away.
I don't see any harm in trying to shoot it once.
No, go for it. Okay, yeah, no, go for it. Roll. I'd like you... I'm going to tick off 1 more momentum in a minute. I'm not going to do it now. That's a bit harsh. I'll tick off 1 more momentum when you get into the tower, because that's definitely different.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth burning a momentum for this, but that's only going to be 2 successes, so that's not going to be enough.
Yeah, so you fire, and this thing kind of turns around and looks and goes into the bushes where your arrow fell, and you just lose track of it in amongst the angles of the tall hedges and the trees.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll knock another bolt, and then we'll go into the. We'll quickly make our way into the thing.
Okay. So you step stealthily around to the door. It's a large double door, a good 6.5 feet tall, fairly wide. Not the gargantuan size of that ostentatious front door downstairs, but it's fairly big. So you're just going to reach out and push it open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It takes a little bit of a shove to get it going, but you hear it clip, and then the doorway opens up, and you see beyond you about a 5-foot wide passageway that leads down, and at the end, it's what looks like a set of spiral stairs leading down. There are a couple of low oil lamps burning, not in the corridor itself, but in niches in the wall around the circular stairs.
Okay.
So it's basically just like one long corridor that leads out to what looks like there's a landing with some doors around a circular staircase right in the middle, you'd guess, of the tower.
Okay. Well, I think we need to make our way in, don't we?
Yep.
Okay, so you guys pad down the corridor. The area you come out to is there's a landing around 8 feet wide, something like that, with 4 doors, one facing off on each of the compass points, and the staircase in the middle. So there's two to your right and two to your left. And there's this spiral staircase that starts off with a handrail and it just leads down into the tower.
Okay then. So it doesn't go up, only down.
The spiral staircase only goes down. Although from standing out by the door, it almost certainly the ceilings in here do not reach to the top of the tower.
Okay. So we know there's got to be another way up. And there have been no doorways or anything that we've passed?
No, there's one corridor that runs all the way out, and then there is a central kind of landing area with this spiral staircase and 4 doorways off it.
Hmm. Which floor did he say? We don't know which floor the document's on, do we?
He just said at the top of the tower. He said he thought they would be high up the tower.
Okay then. Well, we're fairly high up the tower as it is, aren't we?
Pretty much.
Can we go round and listen to the 3 doors?
There's 4 doors.
Oh,
4 doors.
So there are 4
there's
other doors.
4 doors, and there's just this corridor comes out into this area, and then there are 4 doorways off it.
Okay, we'll check to make sure nobody's coming up the stairs.
Okay, so if you stand and listen at the top of the stairs, you actually can't hear any sound coming up from below. There's not the sound of voices. It's pretty much completely silent down there.
Okay, can we then go? We should probably go round and have a listen at each of the doors, shouldn't we?
Okay. Yeah, you listen at each door. You can't hear anything within.
Okay then. Right. Unless Malik has any other ideas, I think we possibly need to start trying doors.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, unless we want to go down and see if we can find an alternative route, we possibly just need to try some doors.
Let's do it very quietly.
Yes.
So you've come up this corridor. You've got, when you get to the landing, there are 2 doors on either side, one ahead, one in front of you and one beside you, kind of say, if you know what I mean. So basically it's kind of they're on compass points. So there's one southeast, there's one southeast, one northeast, one southeast, one southwest, one northwest, and you've come up from the south.
Okay. Do you reckon go round clockwise?
Yeah. Are all the
Okay.
doors the same?
Pretty much, yeah. They're all quite nicely varnished wooden doors. They've got just round metal handles that are kind of lattice work. So they're hollow, and they're just made up of kind of metal, not mesh, but kind of. I can see it in my head, and I can't explain what I mean. But yeah,
They look more used than others.
almost like wickerwork, metal wickerwork with large holes in them.
Or the stairs in front of them are scuffed.
Make me an observation roll. Yeah, if you make me a D3 observation roll,
Okay.
tell me how many you get.
I'm going to use 1 momentum.
Or if you want to, I mean, this one, if you want to go and start exploring it, you can do it as a collaborative effort.
Yep.
Okay, then. Well, I'll roll.
Your observation's high, I think.
My observation is high.
So in which case, Ollie rolls 1 dice.
If we're going to burn a momentum, should I roll 3?
I actually got a 1, so that's 2 for me.
Okay.
So
Okay. Well, I
up
was
to you.
going to burn a momentum and roll 3 anyway.
Okay.
So I
Drop off
should.
2 momentum because you need to get rid of one of those because we're in a different scene.
Okay. Ooh, right. Well, the good news.
You got it. The other good is that one. That's only 1 success, isn't it?
That is only 1 success, but Oliver's 1 mean that we do indeed succeed. The bad news, however, is that
It's all right.
one of those dice is a 20.
I'm just going to take a couple of doom for that. So yeah, you look
falls.
around, and what you realise is the northeast door is probably the most well used. The southeast door is also likewise fairly well used, but the northeast door is probably the most well used.
Now here's the question. Is what we're looking for going to be in the most used room or the least used?
Well, I think that the most. He's probably going to want to use the library quite a lot. I think we should start by checking. Well, saying that, it would make sense if his apartment was up here, wouldn't it?
We don't really want to be walking in on him.
Should we try the least used one first, then?
Yeah, let's go for that.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
the two which are about that amount of usage.
Probably of the two, the two to the southwest and the northwest are probably the least used two. The one to the northeast is the most used of these, and that's where kind of any tracking across from the top of the stairs really goes. But there's also the room on the southeast gets a fair amount of use.
If memory serves, it's fine if not. That light that we could see.
That was in the northwest below the balcony. That was probably on the floor below you.
Okay. But still northwest.
Okay, then. Well, I think we just need to go with the room and try it.
Pick a room.
Should we try the one that's closer to us?
Yep. Closer but less used.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so southeast, yeah?
That's the one.
Okay. Right, so you push that open. The room is pretty much in darkness from inside, but there is, like I say, there's some there's a couple of oil lamps burning in the stairwell, and if you stand aside and look in, you can see a table in front of you. There's some chairs chairs around it, up against the wall underneath one of the windows, and it looks like there might be some shelves on the two straight walls that lead out like the spokes of a wheel.
Should we take one of the oil lamps and have a better look at this room?
They're actually built into niches. So there's just like a wick put into oil in the wall. Just maybe an observation roll.
What difficulty?
Just roll me a straight 2d20.
That will be a 1 success and a 19.
That is a single success. Okay. Yeah, you can see around and about in the room that you've just looked into, it looks as though there might be an oil lamp in there.
Okay then, well in which case I think we shall go and take said oil lamp
Mhm.
and try and light it.
Okay, you light it from the ones on the landing.
Okay then.
Okay, yeah, no, it kind of flares up. You realise it's slightly dusty on the top. It hasn't been used very often. And when you look into the room that you came out of, like I said, there's a couple of bookshelves on each wall. There's a table with some chairs around it, pushed up against the outer wall, just underneath the window. There's a little bit of dust on the table and on the chairs. You kind of get the feeling that this hasn't been used all that often.
Okay, can we have a look? Is there anything on the shelves?
Yeah, there's books on the shelves.
Would any of them seem to fit? Have a quick look at the titles.
You have a quick look at the titles. There are... What languages do you speak?
I speak Aquilonian and Shemtish.
Okay. So actually you've got Cosmopolitan, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay. The title, the books that are on the shelf are in a variety of different languages. There are a couple of titles that you can read that are in Aquilonian, and there are likewise a couple of titles that you recognise from the local script. There's probably there's some in Kothian. There's a few really ornate books that are from Afir. Yeah, so there's a variety of books there. If you want to try and flip through a couple of the ones that you can read.
I mean, just from the titles, is this fiction, non-fiction? Is it the kind of thing we're going to be looking for?
There's quite a few books in here, but they're all handwritten. There are no printing presses this early. So
Yeah,
these
okay.
are books which are on the shelf. You take one out, open it, and go, okay, I don't recognize that, or it's Kothi and it uses basically the same script as Shemtish, but beyond that, I have no idea. Put it back, get down another one. It's Aquilonian. You can kind of flip through and look at the scribble. So look at what's written in there. So they do have quite a lot of them have title pages. So if you want to spend kind of 10 minutes, quarter an hour, just kind of flipping through, having a quick look here and a quick look there and seeing what's there.
I'm not necessarily up for looking at all of them. I'm looking at kind of maybe 5 books at the most. Well, probably not even that I find that I can read enough of to either go, yes, this is relevant. Do I find any that are likely to be relevant, or are they?
These are mostly other people's works discussing. A lot of them are about alchemy. There's stuff just generally about natural world. There are some gazetteers of various people's travels. It seems like a fairly general. I mean, it's an incredibly well-stocked library, but it seems like a fairly general library. There's definitely a leaning towards alchemy. Which, have you got any training in alchemy at all?
I've got none.
You've got none.
Man, I'd be looking at the sword and be like, "Oh, it's interesting."
What do you? Which languages do you speak? Is it Aquilonian and Stygian?
Yeah.
Stygian. Okay, so I mean, there's a couple in there that are in Stygian, and you have got training in alchemy. Certainly, some of these are leaning towards alchemy, but they're fairly general tomes. They're people's notes on things.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm taking from this is this isn't where we're going to. When it's not going to be in here, you wouldn't store that kind of thing in here, is what I'm taking from it.
No,
Okay.
probably not.
Right, well, in which case I will share this and say I think we need to try and find access to a higher up part of the tower.
All the other rooms.
We could do, but this would be the obvious place for it. I think he's got it even better hidden away.
I mean, that would make sense.
I don't really want to try the. I'm not sure whether or not I want to try the. Is it the northeast that's very used?
The northeast is well used.
I'm torn between trying that and seeing if that's a room to another staircase, or. Well, I think any way of getting further up the tower probably will probably be done from this floor, don't you think?
Most likely. Yes.
So I think we want to try a couple of more. I think we possibly need to just systematically try all of the doors. Do you reckon?
Yes, that would, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Or do any of the books in the library, I know it's quite dark, look particularly used?
There's a couple that are much better thumbed than some others, but you can have a quick
I think
look
that if you
through.
pull, it's gonna. From that reaction, I'm guessing probably not.
Okay, I mean there are books which are more used than others. You can try
take a long
pulling
time,
a
though,
couple
to
of
get
those
through.
out to see. There's none that you can immediately see which are very obviously, folded just at the top,
Yeah,
if that is what you're thinking. But
kind of, yeah.
you could pull out a couple of the more the more well thumbed tomes if you wanted to and have a quick look at them.
Yeah, we'll do that. Probably out of interest as well, if nothing else. But
Okay, so kind of pulling one out and having a look at it. There is a book on Stygia, and in particular the city of Kemi, which is fairly well thumbed. It's got a couple of passages which are underlined and some scribbled notes in the margin which are talking about the library beneath the Grand Pyramid, which you've heard rumors of when you lived in Luxor. So yeah, but there's that's the kind of thing you're seeing. A few of the more well-thumbed tomes are in Shemish, which you don't speak. Passing them across, they're vaguely alchemical, but you think, but the technical nature of that language is a bit too much for Serverus to understand.
yeah. Okay.
I'm aware it's getting quite late now. I know I don't have to get up in the morning. I know James doesn't have to particularly get up in the morning. I don't know whether or not you do.
The one day.
The one day you do.
I've got work at 7.
Ooh. Okay.
So I don't mind going off a little bit longer, but if this is a convenient place for you to stop it,
I'd like to move on a little bit further.
that's fine by me.
Okay. Do you want to look in another room?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, you're going to go through these doors systematically. So with a fair amount of trepidation, you open the doors. The one that you want, you realize when you open it, is the door to the northeast, the one that's well traveled. And as you push open that door, it opens pretty silently, and the room actually is fairly empty. But in the far corner of it, there is a set of wide curved stairs that go into a slightly narrower staircase that just goes up around the corner of the tower. If you think kind of Skyrim styly,
Yeah.
that
Makes sense. The most worn one would be the stairway.
Yes. I think we want to be going up here.
Mm-hmm.
okay. So you've just got the one oil lamp with you. Who's going to be carrying that oil lamp? I just want to know who's got what and how you're doing this.
Makes sense if I carried it and went second, possibly.
Okay. So you guys work your way up the stairs. You arrive at the top into a room which is nearly the whole size of the tower. There are bookcases. Basically, so you come up, and there are straight bookcases cutting across the corners of the tower in three directions. There are bookcases all around these and around the wall where the staircase comes up. In the middle is one curved workbench opposite a fairly straight workbench, covered in there are alembics, there are pestles and mortars, there are some quite amazing twisting glass tubing type of stuff that you vaguely heard of when you were learning the little bits of alchemy that you knew such things existed, but you would have no idea exactly how to use these. And there are various lampstands around that you kind of imagine you could probably light to actually get some light in here.
Do we light them or do we not light them?
I would rather not. It would tell too much of our presence, I feel.
We'll keep them unlit for now. And if we're having a really bad time, then we can rethink that decision.
Yes, if we need to, we can light them, but at the moment we're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, can you make me a D4 observation test?
Can we group that one or?
Yeah, you could do if you're both kind of looking around.
Okay. Do we want to burn 2-3 momentum on this? I'm thinking it's going to be hard and it's probably important.
Probably important, yeah. If we burn 2.
Okay, should I? I've got the higher.
So if Ollie rolls first.
Yeah. I'll just roll the 1.
Yeah.
And that is 1.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Damn.
Beginner's luck, definitely.
2 momentum.
So burning 2 momentum, so you get to roll 4 dice. And you're looking for 2 successes.
That is 1, 2, 3 successes, I believe.
Okay, so in which case, just throw out one of those momentum, Ollie, because you'll earn 1 back.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. At the top, there is a shadow at the top of the room. It's pretty much circular. It is difficult to see with no light. It's pretty much circular. And yeah, it's about 8 feet wide, something like that. And it's just a large circular shadow. If you move around the room, trying to get a better idea of what it is, you gradually become aware that it is a hole, probably up into the dome. But there doesn't appear to be any way up to it or down from it. Beyond that, there are doors on. You know, I said there were 3 walls that were cut off with just kind of straight bookshelves. There are 3 doorways off those.
Okay, then.
Do you reckon we should have a look in the hole?
I think it might be a good idea having a look up there. We've got a grappling hook, haven't we? So should be able to do that.
Would you reckon it'd be easier to grapple or just get a leg up?
Oh no, it's a it's
a way up. Okay, cool.
It's a fair way up, this thing.
We'll make the grapple then.
Okay. So you're going to throw the grappling hook up and try and get it wedged onto the edge?
Yes.
Okay, in the darkness, that's going to be a D2. It would be a D1 roll normally, but in the dark, it's going to be more difficult to see the edge.
Mm-hmm.
So ranged.
Yep. 2 10s, but that is 2.
Okay. So yeah, you managed to get the grappling hook up there, and it wedges in. Okay, let me roll a couple of dice. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so this thing hooks up there. That's fine. What do you want to do next?
Climb up. Just one of us climb up.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Right. Who's climbing up?
Do you want to go up first?
I'll go up.
Okay.
Are we both going to go
We're
up?
going to have to figure out how we can take the lamp up there, aren't we?
Yeah. If we both go up, it's okay. But...
Do you want to try and take that up in one hand? Because I'm not going to get up there without it. With it.
Okay. I am going to point this out because it would occur to you guys. Okay. This is an oil lamp. So it has basically like a flat bowl and a wick, and you light the wick. It doesn't give off a lot of light, but it burns for quite a long time, and it's fairly smokeless. It's quite a nice little light. If you were going to try and climb a knotted rope whilst holding a lighted lamp, various things can happen. One is you can end up in total blackness. There are no windows in here.
Okay, so there is no windows, no fretwork or anything.
Actually, sorry, no, there is. Yeah, no, there are no windows in here at all.
Okay, so if we light all the lights up here, nobody outside will be able to see.
No, they shouldn't be able to.
In which case, I think it might be time to light a couple of lights down here first.
I agree.
Okay, so do you want to? I mean, there's 8 or 9 lampstands around the place. So do you want to light all of them? Do you just want to light a couple of them? How do you want to play it?
I think we probably only want to light a couple, don't we?
Yeah, just a couple.
Okay. So yeah, so you managed to light a couple. Your grappling hook is up on the ceiling, and you turn back towards it. Okay, I am going to ask you to make each of you to make me an observation check separately.
What difficulty?
This is actually, I can tell you what the difficulty is in just a sec as soon as I go. Oh, come on. There we go. Right. It is agility is what I'm looking for. Actually, I don't need that page. I'll just leave it on there. Right. Blimey. Oh, crap. Okay. Right. I know what that's going to be. That one is going to be... Okay. It's against 1 success.
That's lucky because I got 1.
Okay, I'll roll normally, and I will get 1 success.
Okay. As you finish lighting the lamps behind you and up in the ceiling, you catch sight of movement out of the corner of your eyes. And as you stare up, a pair of legs come into view. Large and hard. At first, you're not sure what they are, but they are large, hard legs with spines coming off them. Quite thin, but long. One of them dislodges your grappling hook, and it falls with a clatter on the floor, at which point this thing follows it. A vast bulk with way, way too many legs lowers itself on a long line of web.
And I'm going to shoot it.
Okay. And this thing just descends down. The size of, the not quite the size of a horse, but not far off. With it, I will point out, yeah, with it, I up my doom by 4.
Well, that's not very nice.
Okay, then.
Okay, before you get to shoot at it, you must make a discipline test with a difficulty of 2.
Okay, then.
So is that the courage thing?
Yeah, you make it. Yeah, so it's discipline.
Because I have 1 courage soak.
Do you use right? You don't use courage soak on this yet.
Okay.
So this is just a straight discipline check.
I'm going to burn a momentum.
Okay.
Discipline. Okay.
So roll me 3 dice.
So that is going to be no successes, and Ollie, please get rid of 1.
I will do. I got 2.
You got 2 successes. Okay. So you are all right. However, okay. So that is attack. Okay. So, oh no, that's 3 combat dice. Right, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to use my nice new actual Conan combat dice. I am going to roll this on here so that I can explain how the dice work. So I am rolling 3d6. Okay, right. So 1 is worth 1, 2 is worth 2. 3s and 4s do not count. 5 and 6 are both effects. Oh boy, that just says mental area. That does not help me. Mental and area does not help me. Okay, you are fairly lucky then. So you take 3 resolve damage.
Okay, then.
What I would do is cross them off from top left, because that way you know when you hit 0 and you can remember how many resolve you started off with. Otherwise, it will get a bit confusing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you take 3 resolve damage as this thing of horror out of your nightmares descends down. But you do get the opportunity to, as you said, shoot it if you want to.
Okay, what difficulty am I looking at?
Okay, it's a straightforward. You roll, you see how many successes you get. I decide whether or not. I mean, there's not going to be a parry against this. So in this case, it's just you need one success. But any momentum you get, you can put into bypassing armor. You can put into doing extra damage, all of that kind of stuff. Re-rolling dice.
Okay, then. Is it worth burning a momentum? I'll give it a go without. And
right, hang on. This is a combat round. So at the end of every combat round, you're going to lose one from that momentum pool anyway.
In which case, I will burn. Ollie's yet to act, so he may want to. But well, it'd be wise to burn 2 momentum on his turn, probably. So, if I burn 1 momentum to roll 3 die,
that would be. I don't want to tell you what to do, but given that you've not played before with this in anger, yeah, that would sound like a good idea to me.
Okay, so if you could bin 1 momentum, Ollie, and I will roll 3 die and not hit it.
You completely miss with all 3. That sucks.
Okay. Of those were 20.
So the shot. I mean, you bring the crossbow up, and your mouth just drops open at the sight of this thing. You pull the trigger, but you're not even looking at it. It just click, and the bolt just flies. You're closer to the web than you are to it. Ollie, what would you like to do?
Well, the first sound of thing.
Yeah.
He'd have been getting his shield out.
Okay.
But he probably wouldn't have time to swap over to his saber, so he's still got his dagger.
No, you can. You've got enough time. Given you were walking around with the dagger in your hand, you've got enough time. Slide the dagger away, pull it out as a minor action. You can. Okay, shield and sword. That's not a problem.
Cool. Yeah, mainly for the reach, if nothing else.
Yes. Actually, that's a point. That should have been more difficult as well because you're at close combat with it, and a crossbow is medium range, so it should have been a D2 to attack it.
So it's just got shield up. I'll just try and take a
okay, so as it's coming down, you're going to rush towards it and try and get in and cut it. Okay. So yeah, you need to roll me for attack.
Yes.
You may want to spend 1 momentum in order to get 1 extra dice. You're going to tick down at the end of the round, but it gets its go, and you can use momentum to parry with or that kind of stuff. So
I'll use 1.
Okay. So 3d20.
3d20.
It's a straightforward. Its reach is going to be
2.
Yeah, no, its reach is going to be 1. So, yeah, there's no problem with you bypassing its reach.
Cool. Does that come from melee?
Just roll a melee with 3d20.
Okay, that is 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, you only needed 1, so you earn a momentum. I'm going to have a quick look at both of your character sheets just to see. Command, Sixth Sense, Strong Arm Tactics. Yeah, you are definitely much better being social than you are in combat, but we knew that. Okay, and Ollie is going to get. You get 1 courage. So yeah, okay, you can re-roll 1d20 on your discipline checks.
Yeah,
because you're courageous. Living Shadow and Resolve increases 1 per rank. Okay, yeah, so neither of you have really got anything to do this. Okay, so 2. So I've given you back a momentum. Roll me your combat dice. So your saber, if I'm right, I think you've got
damage.
3. Yeah, 3 combat dice.
Cool. So that's 2 2s and a 6.
2 2s and a 6. So that's 5 points of damage. Okay, so the way damage works in this is, and I wouldn't always give you this up front, but I might as well with this. This thing is tough. This thing is really tough. It has 16 vigor, and it also has an armor of 2. However, you have 2 momentum in hand. If you were to spend both of those momentum, you will push. Each one of those will bypass armor by a penetration is a 1 cost momentum reusable, and the damage inflicted by the current attack ignores armor to an amount of soak equal to twice the momentum spend. So if you spend 1 momentum, that will bypass its entire armor and do it 5 damage. 5 damage is enough to score a wound on it. And it only has 5 wounds, and each time it takes a wound, it is more difficult for it to act.
I think we'll end up doing that then.
Okay. So, okay. 1 momentum. What have I done with? I had a pencil around a minute ago. There we go. Right. Okay. So, you do it 5 points of damage, which drops it to 11 vigor. And it takes 1 wound. That is a chunk. That is a big wound. Where do you cut it? How do you attack it?
It's kind of just kind of near where its right legs meet the main body of the. As it's kind of, because it's still on its way down as I'm trying to cut it. It's just kind of there.
Okay, yeah, no, you take out one of its legs. You just hack into it. You don't actually hack it off, but you take a chunk out of it, and the leg is just twitching uncontrollably where you've shorn into it. How many doom spends on this creature? Do that. I'm not going to at the moment. Right. Okay. So, the opportunity to parry. If I do parry, I'll have to parry with his leg. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Right. So it decides to attack Malik, as Malik is. It's barely dropped down here, and Malik's already had a massive go at it. I am going to spend a point of doom for an extra dice.
Right.
So I get to roll 3 dice. That is going to be right. That is going to be 2 successes.
Okay.
Now, because you have a shield, you don't pay for your first. You don't pay doom to parry. Right. So you can parry for no cost of doom. So what you do is you roll your parry skill. You can use that last point of momentum if you want to buy an extra dice.
Yep. Sure. No, wait. So, wait. How does parrying work again?
Parry works. You've got a parry skill.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Top coordination. So I think if you got a 13, 3 and
13. Yeah.
So you roll, if you spend that point of momentum, you roll 3 dice.
I won't spend that on.
You need to get 2 successes because that was what I rolled.
This is a good point.
Actually, no, I spent 1 to get an extra roll, didn't I? Hang on a sec. I've only rolled 2 d20. You have 3 successes. So, okay, so you need to roll 3 successes on your dice in order to successfully parry it.
Okay, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use the last one.
Okay. So roll me 3 d20.
11, 13, 3. So that's 4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. You gain 1 momentum, which actually is going to, I'll give you it, but it's going to tick down at the end of this round anyway, which is coming up any second. So you manage to just about get your sword or your shield in the things more
They
as
both have parrying.
yeah, as these pincers just knock out and start trying to hit into you, which brings us back round to the top of the round. Either of you can act first. It is the characters go first unless I spend Doom to go first.
I think can I get my shield out and have it and loose another arrow at it?
Is the crossbow one-handed or two-handed?
It says size unbalanced.
What's your brawn? 7. It's two-handed.
Okay, well, I will keep at it with the crossbows. I don't really fancy closing into melee range with it, so can I try and back away a bit?
You may back away from it.
Will that make it more difficult?
No, it's in fact you'd be better if it was further away, because you suffer 1 point of difficulty for the fact that you're too close to properly bring your crossbow to bear.
Right, okay, yeah, what I'm looking at is trying to get not quite as far away as I can get away from it, but I want to be
top of the stairs.
Yeah, I want to be at that kind of range, ideally, so it's the right range and it's not going to come for me.
Yeah, you're not going to get far enough back to get that, so it's going to be a D2. So you need to get 2 successes in order to hit it.
Okay then, well, I'll roll. I won't spend a momentum because...
You haven't got, that momentum you need to get rid of, Ollie, because you haven't got it anymore, because it's the beginning of the next round.
Okay, well,
you could spend a fortune if you wanted to. I'm not saying you should, but you could.
Spending a fortune would basically give me 2 successes, wouldn't it?
It would give you 2 successes straight away, then you'd roll your dice.
That sounds like an acceptable...
Which would hopefully score you some momentum.
Plan. So I will bung a fortune in and roll. Ooh, that is 2 successes.
Okay, so you earn 2 momentum. And you get to roll whatever damage a crossbow does.
It does 3 damage.
Now, hang on a sec. It does 3. I haven't checked your character sheet. Ranged, no, it does 3. Yeah. And at the top, you've got ranged 2 because your awareness, I think, is high.
Okay.
It's not the same stat as coordination is 2 hit. Awareness, I think it is where you're managing to aim for.
Okay,
so you do 5. Yeah, you do 5 combat dice.
Roll.
Only I had a ranged weapon.
Right, so that is wow. 4 6s and a 4. So that's 4 hits effectively.
That is 4 hits. Right, so that's 4 points of damage. What qualities has a crossbow got?
It's got Unforgiving 1 and Volley. So that's Unforgiving 1, which means that...
Yeah, you didn't... No, that's if you spend a round aiming, that comes into account. So it's if you take an exploit action. I'm pretty sure an exploit action is a full round action. Let me just check. This is
Unforgiving is cool.
Unforgiving is very cool if it comes off. Come on. Struggles, improving odds. I want actions. I want actions. Momentum using fortune. Example of play. Oh, there we go. Turn sequence. Come on. Actions, 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 actions.
Unforgiving. If the target of this attack was affected by an exploit action.
Yeah, exploit is a standard. Action. Exploit is a standard action. So basically, if you'd spent a round watching it, then you've exploited it, and you can. I think you have to make an observation test in order to exploit it. So what was it? It was Unforgiving and
volley, but I can't do volley.
Right, so you just do 2 points of damage. If you spend a point of momentum, that will be 4 points of damage it takes as opposed to 2 because it has armor.
That sounds like a good plan, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think you've got anything there. I mean, you could spend a point of momentum to re-roll those dice, but the chances are you're going to end up with less dice than you started with. You could spend a point of momentum to bypass, and then your last point of momentum to do an extra point of damage, but that's
Just use one momentum and that.
4 points. 1 point of momentum will bypass all of it. If you spend both points of your momentum, you will do it a second wound.
That's worth doing, isn't it? Because we're trying to do wounds.
So if it's got a single wound, then any physical thing that it does, which includes melee combat, it's one more difficult than it would be. If it's got 2 wounds, it's 2 more difficult. So actually, I would say if you spend both your points of momentum, you drop it to 6 points of vigor, and you've done it 2 wounds of damage.
Okay, you reckon that's worth doing then?
I reckon that is probably worth doing.
So I will chuck the 2 in, and we'll do that.
Okay. Which brings us to Malik.
He's gonna just try and slash it again with a saber. Yep,
there is no momentum, but you could spend Doom if you really wanted to.
Okay. 5 and a 6, so that's 2 successes.
Okay, 2 successes. I am going to... It was 2 successes. I am going to spend... Actually, I should have said beforehand whether or not I was going to spend Doom to try and block, I think. Get that in my head. Am I going to spend Doom in order to be able to block? Or in order to be able to parry? I am. I'm going to have a crack at that because, hey, it's there to be spent. So 1 point to do that, and I am going to add a 1 point in order to parry. So that means that I get to roll 3d20 in order to try and parry. And the
is parrying harder because of the wounds or not?
Oh, crap. You know what? You are right. It is. It's a physical activity. However, parry is based on... where are we? Parry is coordination and combat. So, coordination, combat. Yeah, I've still got a 16. I've got a 16-3. So... I get 2 successes, which is not enough. I needed 4. So you, you do full damage.
Cool.
So go for it.
Okay, 2 1s and then a 4.
2 1s and a 4. Okay, so you do 2 points of damage, which...
Did I gain a momentum out of that?
Right, you needed... Well, effectively, by the time I'd parried, you needed 3 successes, and you got... No, you didn't. Hang on, let me get this right. Because I am wounded, neither of those count. How many successes did you roll?
I got 2.
You got 2. I needed 4 to get bypassed, so yeah, I think you got 1 momentum from that.
So then I can use that one to bypass the armor.
You can use that to bypass the armor if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay,
so I'm not doing any damage.
Yeah, so you bypass the armor, which this thing just screams and starts climbing the... It is going to spend its time doing a withdraw action. Even if you do attack it, it is doing a withdraw action. It is going up that damn rope. I can't remember what you have to roll in order to successfully do a withdraw action. but I'm going to say it does it automatically. It gets
It's a spider.
it, if you'll pardon the expression, bugs out, and it just climbs the webs back into the ceiling.
Hey, we want to go up there.
Well, you know what? I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, I know James has got stuff on. I've got stuff on. I don't know when we're next going to play this game. I could just narrate the end of it now, or we could try and find enough time for another session.
I'm happy for you to narrate.
You happy for me to narrate it? I mean, it was primarily to give your characters a bit of a shakedown. Okay. When you open the other doors in this area, you find behind one of them there are a whole stack of written out formulas and bits and pieces. And behind that, to the north, you find the formula for the powder of Ebn Ghazi.
Cool.
Which is what you are looking for. Now, what I'm also going to do, it's in here somewhere. Let me find where I've done with it. No, 4th floor, 5th floor. Right, okay. Okay, make me a, while you're in the area, make me an alchemy test. You haven't got any momentum, and I'm going to say, given that you are, we're narrating the end of this, I'm just going to say do 2d20 on them on alchemy.
2.
Okay, you get 2. Right. Okay, roll me 1d6. I'm going to treat it like a combat dice.
6.
Okay, you automatically find about 1 gold's worth of fairly rare ingredients that you think you can get a market for. You have a point of momentum. You can either buy an extra dice to roll, or you can re-roll that one. I wouldn't recommend re-rolling that one because on a 3 or a 4, it's going to be nothing. So if you want to roll another d6 and see what you get.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
So the momentum is limited to, you can only use it for this. 2. Okay, so you managed to get out with 3 gold's worth of, you find yellow lotus powder, amongst other things, and that is going to be worth quite a bit of money if you take it to the right people. So you find that. Yeah, hell, let's just narrate this.
So I just say that I found the right people for it then.
Well, we can deal with that later. So I'm going to say, you guys, you find this, it is going to be noticeable to anybody that comes up here, given the spider ichor on the floor, the strands of webbing and stuff. They are going to think to look to see what's been stolen and what the hell's happened. But you can't do anything about that now. So you grab that formula, you grab some lotus powder, which you think you can probably sell, and you quietly scurry back down the steps. I'm guessing leaving the oil lamps burning in there because you don't want that thing coming back down after you. You make your way back out to the balcony, drop the rope. I know what we'll do. You drop the rope, and the two of you start to descend the rope. When you get near the bottom, you spot the hugest thing you have seen. It's like a striped lion, but with huge long fangs dipped down below its jaw. On either side. And at that point, you realize that you are carrying with you some of your blinding powder. So from from 3/4 of the way down the rope, as this thing comes in below you and starts to scent you, you just throw that at it and manage to pretty much hit it. At which point it seems disorientated. You don't necessarily knock it completely out, but it something about it, it really, really does not like the smell. Which buys you just about enough time to get to the wall, over the wall, gone. The next night, you meet
the tavern, just wait the whole day.
Yeah, you meet Pelagon early the next night in the tavern, and he surreptitiously. He said 2 nights. He said 2 nights.
We only needed 1 because of that awesome.
Yeah, but it's kind of early morning by the time that you manage to get your way out, and then slink across the city without raising too much notice out of the nice rich quarter that you are in. There is various kind of slight problems with that. You have a couple of near misses. So yeah, you managed to get back to that tavern the next day, having laid low the day that you made, and you hand it to him. Are you interested in? Are you trying to do anything specific, or are you just trying to give him this and get out of there, kind of thing, get the deal done and sorted?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Malik would probably make some passing remark about how it was really easy. And he was surprised how he couldn't have done it himself. And then kind of hand over the thing and then say something like, "Please don't let me see you again.
Please don't let yourself be seen by us again." Yes.
Okay. Pelagon takes it, flips through it, and just says, "You won't see me again. I'm heading north." I will say, though, the word on the street that I've heard is Zabian is really, really pissed about last night. If I was you, I'd maybe head off as well. Your location at the moment is safe with me, but if I can find you, so can others. I'd head out of town if I was you. Just friendly advice. It's not a threat. And as he goes, you hear him mutter to himself that Knufis will pay handsomely for this. It's not a name that you're aware of at the moment, but you do hear him say, and I know that Serverus would would pretty much take that and file that away. He'd grab any chance of a name.
Yeah.
So Knufis will pay handsomely for this. And yeah, with that, business is concluded, and we'll have a discussion about what happens next, probably offline.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, you stole the recipe for the powders of Ebenghazi
without getting detected, apart from by a giant spider.
Yeah, you fought a giant spider and managed to drive it off. And you invaded the Tower of the Lord of Fire and Smoke.
Cool.
So yeah, you would have been proud of that even if you was a moron. Right, and with that, I'll stop the broadcast. So if anybody has got all the way through this, good one, Doug. Thank you for watching.
Bye.